let's talk about wrestling. I came up with an interesting question. Favorite Hell in a Cell match? There's a lot of great ones. Batista versus Triple H, Vengeance. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bad Blood 97. Undertaker,
Oh,
Edge. Undertaker, Triple H. Triple H, Cactus Jack. Undertaker, Mankind, King of the Ring. There's a lot of great Hell in a Cell matches. Which one? Who wants to go first?
I'll take this one.
Go ahead, champ.
Hey, first of all, I would be remiss if I didn't say who had the best record in Hell in a Cell. That'd be Triple H. He's 9-2 in Hell in a Cell. And when you think about the guys who he's beaten in Hell in a Cell, it reads like a who's who. Retired Mick Foley, beat Chris Jericho, beat Kevin Nash, beat HBK, beat the McMahons. It just reads like a who's who. I mean, if you want to lose, fight Triple H in Hell in a Cell if you're not Batista or The Undertaker. But I digress. But to your point, who had the greatest Hell in a Cell match? Look here, man. I gotta say 2004, Bad Blood, HBK versus Triple H. Now, BRF touched on this last week. That was one of the greatest rivalries ever in the history of wrestling. In the history of wrestling. So I will back my brother from Georgia up on that one. But that match was the end-all, be-all. That was the last huge match of that chapter in that rivalry. And they went in there and put on a flat-out show. Hell, Shawn Michaels even went into the match and got the ladder out in order to try to pull one over on the great Triple H, man. But the thing is about that time, Triple H during that time, Triple H would not be denied, man. And Triple H was a master at Hell in a Cell. He was at some of the most dangerous, and not just Hell in a Cell, some of the most dangerous matches that you would ever want to see. Cage matches. I mean, elimination chambers. If you go back and look at Triple H's record in those matches, they are superb. You want Triple H to win, put him in a dangerous match. So, greatest Hell in a Cell match, greatest performance, and I think they went almost an hour as well. It was like an Iron Man match.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest Hell in a Cell match.
I think it's still the longest on record in the history of the match.
Yeah, and so greatest Hell in a Cell match has to be Triple H versus HBK, Bad Blood 2004. And I mean, you saw some of the best out of both of those guys. And to BRS point, greatest rivalry in wrestling history. I will back him up on that.
Before I give the floor to BRF, thank you again, BRF. You know that I did a clip, a short. I posted it on both my IG and YouTube. In each of those videos that I put, you got me over 10K.
Great minds, baby. That's what we do. Man. Hey, man. Hey, man. Let me tell you something. I'm grateful for the opportunity to even be on the podcast with PFP and Champ and the fellas, and even to just be a part of a contribution like that, getting that many views for just talking about stuff I love to talk about. I mean, come on, man. That's the dream, man. That's what you live for, man. That's what it's about right there. What it's about.
Shout out. BRF, man, what is your favorite Hell in a Cell match?
This is hard for me because Hell in a Cell is my favorite match type of all time. So this is going to be really, really hard for me. Yes, I like it. I like it more than the ladder match. I like it more than the last man standing match. Hell in a Cell is my favorite gimmick match type ever. Like, I thought it, I mean, when I saw the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match from '97, the very first one, I thought the match was so goddamn violent. I didn't think it was going to stick around, but obviously I was wrong. And I think it's one of the most innovative ideas in the history of wrestling, and the legacy that it's woven is just, it's really, I think it's second only to what the ladder match has done. but even still, like it's my favorite match type because I love seeing a good rivalry, a really good 3, 4, 5 month blood feud just in one of those, and just let them. Okay, this is the last match you're gonna have. I don't care what you do to each other. Just go do it. Make it end somehow, some way. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bad Blood 04 is definitely in my top 3. It's in my top 3. It's definitely my top 3. It's honestly not my favorite, but it's in my top 3. If I had to go from 3 to 1, that would be 3. Triple H Undertaker WrestleMania 28 would be 2. And if I had to go 1 from a sheer perfect storytelling perspective, for me it's Triple H and Batista Armageddon 2005. From a sheer storytelling perspective, because that was I don't know. It's just something. It's something about that match that really just kind of it stuck with me. Like and really it's it was the whole evolution angle of it, with going all the way back to when Batista won the Rumble. Triple H wanted him to go to SmackDown because of that Raw where Batista had the contracts. It was either go to SmackDown, face John Cena and JBL in a triple threat, or stay on Raw and face Triple H for the world title. And just him power bombing through that table. That feud of 05 was just so good. Like the WrestleMania 21 match was really good, and this underrated match. Even the backlash match was really, really good. And then for Triple H to leave as long as he did and to set up that Hell in a Cell angle with him was just perfect. And that match was just, I mean, like the barbed wire chair, the chain, just the sheer. I mean, just I don't know. I just love how they did that, and it was just so well done. And then like at the end, I don't know if a lot of people have seen this clip, but there's a clip, like a WWE Network exclusive clip after the match. Triple H and Ric Flair sitting in the locker room. Batista walks in. I mean, they just went to war for like 30, 35 minutes on each other. And, you know what I'm saying? They give each other a hug, showing each other love. And it's just like, after that kind of rivalry, to still have that kind of respect for each other is just, that's wrestling. And that match was just, whew, the stuff they did to each other, man. I could sit and watch that match. Those 3 that I listed as my favorite 3, I could sit and watch those for days. And I know I might shock people with Triple H and Batista from Armageddon, was it Armageddon? No, it wasn't Armageddon. It was Unforgiven. I think it was Unforgiven. It was Unforgiven 05. It was one of those. I think it was. It was that's right. It was Vengeance 05. Thank you. Appreciate that. It was Vengeance 2005. Yeah, it was Vengeance because it was in I think it was in because it was in Vegas, I believe. It was in Vegas that year.
Yeah.
It was Vengeance 05. It was in Vegas that year. But it was, and the whole match was, the entrances was intense. Like Batista was making his entrance. He didn't normally climb on the middle rope like he normally does. He's keeping one eye on Triple H, thinking Triple H about to jump him before the match started. I mean, the intensity was just there from the jump. And then when that bell rang, it was just 2 bulls going at it for like 35 minutes. And it was just, man, I think that match was the one. I know a lot of people say WrestleMania 21 was the night that Batista really arrived. For me, it was Vengeance 05 because Vengeance 05, we didn't really know the depths that Batista would go to win a match. That put him on the map for me because it showed what he'd be willing to do to win a match, and having a partner like Triple H in there just going at it like that. For me, Vengeance 05 for me just stands out. I love that match.
Go ahead, champ.
Hey, and remember, I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought Triple H was gonna win that match. Remember, he was undefeated during that time. I mean, he had beaten Cactus Jack.
He was.
He had beaten Shawn Michaels. He had beaten Kevin Nash. He had beaten Chris Jericho. He was 4-0 at Hell in a Cell. So back then, You wanted to Hell in a Cell with Triple H, you lost. And for
That was his
Triple H,
specialty.
yes, that was his forte. And for him to get put over like that in a match, the caliber of Hell in a Cell against a guy like Triple H, who's so masterful in that cell, I'll never forget something that Jonathan Coachman said during the course of the match. He said Triple H looks at this match as going home. I have never seen a person so comfortable in a dangerous match like Triple H is in Hell in a Cell. So to your point, BRF, yes, he did arrive after that match because guess what? Triple H was every odds was against Triple H, was with Triple H at that point. He was undefeated in Hell in a Cell. Not too many people could say they beat Triple H 3 times in a row. Not to mention, he nearly beat him at Backlash because he hit the pedigree on him. It was just the referee wasn't there. So he truly, WrestleMania put him over, but he truly went over in Hell in a Cell in 2005. So I got to tip my hat to you, BRF. Hey, man, you did the damn thing when you brought that one up.
Man, that's why I say the Hell in a Cell is my favorite match type because I don't know, it's just something about the allure of that match, and even with some of like the PG era ones, and then my favorite, I'll throw a couple in for like honorable mention. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre in the Thunderdome was a good one. And one I feel like deserves a lot. Well, honestly, I don't know if it won Match of the Year 2022. It almost did. It was top 2, I think. Edge, Seth Rollins, that was good too. At Crown Jewel, that was another good one too. So, when I say I love me some Hell in a Cell matches, I love me some Hell in a Cell matches. That's my favorite one.
All right. Well, not just the Hell in a Cell match is Triple H's specialty, champ, but also the Undertaker's as well. I mentioned this prior to the show. 6 men Hell in a Cell. Rikishi, Rock, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Rock, and Austin. Taker and Austin. That was a hell of a match. And all of them, they were looking at Taker when he chokeslammed Rikishi off the top of that Hell in a Cell. And Jim, oh my God, the commentary of Jim Ross, man, that is just special. But Taker versus Shawn Michaels 97 Bad Blood. That was a hell of a match because you saw Taker. If you look closely at the match, when Taker is like rubbing Shawn's face through that Hell in a Cell, man, you can get like the great camera shots. Shawn knew that coming into that match, he was the undersized dude. Taker, this is a type of match of Taker's specialty, and Taker even said in himself, it felt like Shawn had to owe me money. Taker was beating the brakes out of Shawn during that match, and then Kane ultimately interfered. But I said it before, Mick Foley, the most underrated wrestler in my opinion. What he went through, 98 King of the Ring. Just when you thought Shawn Michaels, that was bad, Mick Foley was like, no, I got something better. You get thrown off the top of the cage, and then, as Jim Ross said it, God Almighty, he killed him, for God's sakes. And then he comes back into the match, gets on top of the cage.
Again.
Taker choke slams him through the cage. He's like, and Jim Ross is yelling, would somebody stop the damn match? Enough's enough. And then Mick Foley, them damn thumbtacks. Them thumbtacks. And then Taker had to choke slam him through that. And mind you, Taker, prior to that match, he had a broken ankle. And he recalled Mick Foley asking him how he was doing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, dude, I got like a broken ankle, but you just broke your neck and your back, and you got 150 something thumbtacks stuck at you at the very moment. Taker Mankind, that was one for me. But that 6-man match, like, and then especially Mick Foley, because remember Vince, Jerry Frisco, Pat Summerall, they interfered, and then Mick Foley, remember at the time he was the commissioner of the WWF, and then interfered, and it's like, nah, y'all asses get the hell up out of here. You ain't gonna stop us from interfering in that match. But when Taker, when he threw Rikishi off that Hell in the Cell, man, I'm like, holy shit. And Rock, Austin, everyone, they're seeing it. If you look carefully, they're actually looking at what Taker is about to do. But Triple H, to Champ's point, man, Hell in the Cell, man, that's his specialty. And I don't think, to your point, BRF, because you said it on the show last week, he will get a Hall of Fame solo. He will eventually get a Hall of Fame solo, not only because of his contributions as a wrestler, but also what he has done post Vince McMahon and how he's running the WWE at this point. And with the latest WrestleMania, that was the nail in the coffin. If he does not get a Hall of Fame solo, and there have been a lot of greats in the Hall of Fame that haven't had a solo, not a Stone Cold, not a Rock. If he doesn't get a solo, man, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey.
I think they have a stat. They put a stat out, like they did a vote or like a survey or something like that. WrestleMania 49 2 is the third greatest WrestleMania ever, behind 17 and 19.
Wow.
Hey, we can all agree that Hell in a Cell is a very, very violent match. Very violent match. Very, very good match. But we can all agree what the funniest moment in Hell in a Cell was. 2006, the McMahons versus DX. So we can all agree that was the funniest moment.
Oh no!
When they pulled Big Show's trunk down and Vince McMahon went, oh my god, man!
Do you remember
Classic,
Jim Ross's comments? You remember Jim Ross's commentary?
Oh my god!
Directly up the Big Show's ass,
bro. You know what's so funny about that part of the match? You see how aggressive Vince was during that time, and then they pulled out them shorts, and he was like, "Wait a minute, let me rethink." And he was trying to read, and he's trying to reason with him at a certain point. But we can all agree that was the funniest moment in Hell in a Cell history, because you're not going to get a better segment than that. And
the storytelling of that match was really good too, because I like the psychology of it, because it was like the Big Show being that X factor. It's like what DX did from the jump was, okay, Big Show, we know what you bring to the table. I'm talking about, I ain't never seen a dude get kicked in between his legs as much as the Big Show did in that match. I felt bad for him. About the first 5-10 minutes in. I'm like, boy, that man ain't gonna be able to have no kid when DX get through. I mean, they were doing all they could to get him out, and then it's like, get him out of the match. I mean, them against the McMahons was just, it was so one-sided when they had to face up. It was so one-sided. But then the Big Show would get back and assert his dominance, and you could just see the difference he made. But it was just I liked it from there. I think for me the MVP of that match for me was Shane. He did so good in that match. He was my MVP for that match, because he never been in there like that before. So it was like, okay, so what is he gonna do? And just The
He's
bumps
been
he was taking.
he's been in a lot of
Oh,
barbaric fights though, but not to this magnitude.
Yeah. Then he broke the sledgehammer on his head.
Yep.
I mean, that was the perfect way to end that. It was like, oh yeah, we get all the fun and games out the way, but when it comes down to it, Triple H is just that dude when it comes to Hell in a Cell, and he just snapped that sledgehammer over him, just like, yep, it's about as fitting as ending as I could ask for.
Oh, anyone forget 2002 Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker? Hell in a Cell.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
that was good. That was so good. That was so good. That was good. That was so good. That was such a good match.